2024 MEIJI YASUDA J1 LEAGUE ninth game. FC Tokyo versus FC Machida Zelvia. The match officials and players are coming up.
It is another derby day in the capital as FC Tokyo and Machida Zelvia meet in the Japanese top flight for the very first time. Well, the home side drew 2-2 at more traditional rivals Tokyo Verdy last weekend. Now they face another neighbour who also won promotion last year and who have been one of these stories of this season so far in their first ever campaign in J1. It's the first chapter of a new derby. Machida Zelvia continue this remarkable ride in their first top flight season with a short trip northeast to Chofu and the Ajinomoto Stadium to take on the more established capital club. But FC Tokyo, in a 13th successive season at this level, start today 4 points and 6 places below their visitors, who've maintained their momentum so impressively so far since last year's promotion. They finished as champions of J2 and seem to have taken the step up in their stride. But after a 3-game winless start to the season, FC Tokyo have been showing signs of progress of late. Just 1 defeat in their last 5 league games, winning 2 of the most recent 3. And they will be intent on proving their credentials today. Machida have been the early pace setters for much of this year before losing 2 of their last 3 league games. They still start today just a couple of points off the top of the table. A wonderful setting ahead of a key early season contest. Well, there is just the one change to the FC Tokyo team that drew 2-2 at Tokyo Verdy last weekend. In their previous league game, it is a fairly straightforward one. Soma Anzai is suspended after his sending off in the first half of that game. And no surprise that Keita Endo is his replacement, having come off the bench to score his first 2 goals for the club 8 days ago as the 10 men came from 2 down to rescue a point. Endo also scored in the 4-0 midweek win at 3rd tier YSCC in the 2nd round of the League Cup. Only 4 of this side also started that game. In addition to Endo, Kantadoi, Kai Kazumi and Tsuyoshi Ogashiwa are the others asked to do double duty this week by Peter Klimowski. Shu Kawamata of Ibaraki is today's referee, his 5th J1 game of the season. He's shown 3 red cards and awarded 2 penalties across the previous 4. It's only his 2nd year operating at this level. He has Masuya Ueda and the team as backup in the booth as VAR for this one. 5 changes for Machida Zelvia from their last league game, the home defeat to champions Vissel Kobe at the National Stadium last weekend. First choice Kosei Tani is back in goal, having served a 1-match ban, but followed his sending off at Kawasaki Frontale. He replaces Koki Fukui. Henry Hiroki Mochizuki makes a first J1 start, and Gen Shoji just his 2nd of the season. They both come in at the back in place of Junya Suzuki and Jang Min-ju. But again, Zento Uno makes his first league appearance of the season after a hamstring injury, whilst there's a maiden inclusion in a J1 11 this year for Daigo Takahashi. Maiden J1 season for Go Kuroda, the coach as well, having led the team to promotion in his first season in senior football. Some story in the Machida Zelvia dugout. Previously had 28 years coaching at high school level. He took his team to the top of the early season table, 2 defeats in 3. They've just checked their momentum a little bit. Can they pick things up here? Machida Zelvia in their change colours in the white will get the action underway. Much anticipated meeting, this one, between these near neighbours. The officials almost ready. The fans certainly are. They've been looking forward to this one. The current form, a close one to call. And we are underway in the latest derby to be added to the J1 calendar. Let's see if Machida Zelvia can maintain their impressive start to life in the top flight, or if FC Tokyo can take the chance to move within a point of their visitors. They're both winners in midweek in the 2nd round of the League Cup competition. It is FC Tokyo the first to foray forward. Bad ball in either by Shirai, was it? Goalkeeper Tani came to try and claim and couldn't quite get there. Ragnar Gande. Very positive start this from the home team. Nothing at the end of it for them this time. It was an awkward one a moment ago for Tani in goal. His return to the team after serving a 1-match suspension. He did get a glove to it. Hopeful to be able to clear this one away. Goes long, and that's something that Machida Zelvia have done more than any other team in J1 this season. Average actually the lowest possession of any team in the top flight. Tends to be a direct approach. Here they come with their first attack of note. Just a shade too high for Fujimoto, who couldn't quite reach it. So Sento. Shoji. Dresovic alongside him at the back, the Kosovan international. It's a big day for Mochizuki at right back. His first start in senior league football. First year out of university. Came off the bench against Vissel Kobe last week, and he did start the midweek League Cup victory. 2-1 at Girivents of the third tier to reach round 3 of that competition. New format for the Louvain League Cup this season. Both of these sides progressing against teams from J3 on Wednesday. It'll be a Tokyo free kick. Fujimoto making a 6th successive start, having come off the bench in the first 3 games of the season. Both clubs are missing players away with Japan at the Under-23 Asian Cup that is ongoing in Qatar at the moment. Strength in depth of the squad's tested a little bit in that respect. Tokyo have 3 players away with their country. That one just skips away from Ogashiwa. Particular Kuyu Matsuki could be a big miss today. Second game in succession that he's been unavailable whilst on duty with Japan's under-23s. They've won their opening 2 games of that competition. United Arab Emirates just yesterday, the second of them. Well, that's well worked by Machida Zelvia. Got a couple to try and pick out in the penalty area. It was Counter Doi that got his head to it first, though, for FC Tokyo. Importantly, as it turned out. Now Sang-ho trying to ask some early questions. 2 South Koreans up top for Zelvia this afternoon. Si-hun has been the big danger so far. A couple of goals in starting every game. Hayashi with the throw. Got decent distance on it as well. It's another ever-present Kotaro Hayashi at left-back. He was relegated from this division last season with Yokohama before making the move to maintain his position in the top flight. Away is by Hatano. Hayashi under some pressure. Opportunity maybe on the counter-attack here. This is Kaya Sento, and it's taken off his toes by Shirai. Still in there scrapping for it though, Sento. Koizumi, who came away with it. Bang Nagande forward. Very decent tempo to the game early on in these first 5 minutes. Oh, threaded through impressively, opens up here for the shot, and Tani is right behind it. Good goalkeeping, got his angles right. Neat approach play from Nagasto to try and pick their way through. Offering early evidence that they will be capable of doing so today. They came into the weekend as the joint top scorers in J1 this season, 13 goals across their first 8 matches, more goals from open play than any other team. Defensively, they have been susceptible, though. That's been their issue. Only 4 teams conceding more going into the 9th round of fixtures. All of those residing in the bottom six. It's Trevisa at centre-back. Hayashi with the throw. See how close this was for Ogeshiwa. Angle against him, really, because of the positioning of the goalkeeper. He had plenty to do from there. Did score his first goal of the season in the 4-0 victory at YSCC on Wednesday, the J3 side in the League Cup. It was Ogeshiwa who opened the scoring 13 minutes into that midweek match. 2 goals in each half saw them comfortably through. Shirai. Challenging for that was Osihon, who is on loan for the season from Shimizu S-Pulse. One of those with previous J1 experience in this Machida Zelvia side. Collectively, they have stepped up so impressively from the second tier. Ogeshiwa still going and does now have some support. Bangnagande clutched under his crossbar by Kosei Tani, who will get the decision from the referee as well now. Goalkeeper is on loan from Gamba Osaka. So just a 1-match suspension after his sending off in the victory at Kawasaki Frontale. Wasn't as extended here as he might have been, but Ogeshiwa in particular causing some early issues for the Machida defence. Just 2 points behind the leaders Cerezo Azaka coming into today, who are also in action right now at Nagoya Grampus. Chance potentially to go back to the top of the table today. Chance here to get this into the penalty area, perhaps, for Takahashi, making his first league appearance of the season. He ever played 6 times in this league previously with Shimizu S-Pulse. He floats that one in. Henry Trevisan with the clearance was straight up in the air. He gets the second go at it. Takahashi underneath it. Shizuki stopped in his tracks, but volleying forward from fullback already on his big day. Not too much in it in the opening 10 minutes then in Tokyo. Played at the National Stadium against the champions Vissel Kobe last week. Machida Zelvia here at the Ajinomoto Stadium today. Short trip of just under 20 kilometres northeast of Chofu. The game plan is fairly evident early on from Machida Zelvia, and they do get numbers forward in support of the attack. Here's Hayashi, doing so from fullback, linking with Fujimoto. Suzuki Fujimoto, support provided by Sento. Shoji for Mochizuki. Bangnagande deals with it. Safety first, really. Opting for touch. promising position for the throw here. Well, rain is forecast for later, so the towels inside the plastic bags. Attention to detail. Conditions could become a factor, potentially a little bit later on in proceedings this afternoon. Decent distance here again on the throw, but that one comes all the way through for Hatano in goal. Bit of space here for Ko. Going to Gande. Mochizuki just running out of room. Settles for the throw, takes it quickly, and they've worked it well here. Couple in the penalty area. O.C. Hun with a touch, and the shot when it comes is deflected wide. Was just a touch on the way behind. Came really from the quickly taken throw. That may well have been offside. A neat touch from O.C. Hun, just to try and guide that one back. Sang Ho's shot, which carried for the corner. Sento to take it. His first season at the club. Sento delivers deep. Oh, brilliant! How about that for a finish? And it's the early goal for Machida Zelvia. Took it first time, the angle appeared improbable, but it was struck with real accuracy. Found the sweet spot, certainly. Nobody picked him up. And FC Tokyo made to pay. A first goal of the season for Na Sang-ho. And he took it wonderfully. Just his third ever J1 goal for the South Korean who signed last summer. Former FC Tokyo player. They know all about him here. But they could do little to stop him. Some story, some strike early on. First goal since October of last year for FC Seoul. His previous J1 goal was for FC Tokyo. That was in the summer of 2019. At this very stadium against Yokohama F. Marinos. Only his third league start of the season. And he's marked it in some style. Machida Zelvia have the perfect platform as they go in pursuit of more. That's comfortably claimed by Hatano. Well, neatly done by Ogashiwa. Just overhit it though. Did have support arriving in the middle. Well, the heading as it stands very early on in proceedings today, back to the top of the table. Machida Zelvia. It's the first real attempt at a response from Tokyo. Will have been disappointed by the nature of the concession of the goal, but take nothing away from the finish. A player who made 25 appearances for FC Tokyo in the 2019 season. He went to the last World Cup as part of the South Korean squad. 28 caps for his country. He signed a 3-year contract with Machida Zelvia after their promotion. The following 3 years back at the K1 club back home with FC Seoul. He was the vice-captain there. He scored 12 times for them last year. He scored a really important goal today. Shoshi to take. Shizuki was his target, initially anyway. And it went towards O.C. Hun, gathered up by Hatano. Hatano getting it back again. He's also served a suspension this season. He was also, like his opposite number, Kosei Tane, sent off in a game against Kawasaki Frontale. Both goalkeepers otherwise first choice at the start of the season. Hayashi. Neatly done by Fujimoto. Then the touch was a little heavy. The new boys going in search of more. Did bounce up and strike him high on the arm there. Kazuki Fujimoto had 4 years at Oita Trinita. Forced his way into the starting lineup with Machida Zelvia. Just the one goal for them so far this season, but how those fans are relishing life in the top tier for the first time in the club's history. Well known as the Brazil of Tokyo. Well, Machida Zelvia, such is the popularity of this sport in the city and the number of young players that they've developed in the professional game. Now getting the chance to shine on the big stage. Got some work to do here defensively. Also had gone. And the referee, I think, has pointed to the penalty spot. He has. That's a big call from Shukawa Mata. Didn't appear any imminent danger, really. Let's have a look at this. Handball given, but it maybe hit the chest first of Drezovic, and then his left arm. He's trying to keep the right hand out of the way. The referee was in a decent position and made the decision to point to the spot. Masuya Ueda is the video assistant referee who is checking it. But it looks like that check hasn't taken too long, and the penalty will stand. Ogashiwa's grabbed hold of the ball. He's the one set to assume responsibility and try and level this up. Well, Drezovic might count himself a little unfortunate there. But what a chance for FC Tokyo to level it up in relatively short order. Ogashiwa in his first season with the capital club after 4 years at Consadole. And they come up against Tani. Big moment this. Ogashiwa scores just. And we're all square again in the capital. Having got his first goal for the club in the League Cup in midweek, Ogashiwa opens his J1 account for FC Tokyo. Penalty conceded by Drezovic. Tani almost got to it, but in off the post it goes. In fact, he did get a hand to it, didn't he there, the goalkeeper? Having guessed right by going left, he would have been really disappointed not to save that, Kosei Tani. Peter Klimowski breathing a big sigh of relief. His team on terms in Tokyo. Story really of misfortune for Machida Zelvia, both in the concession of the penalty and then the way in which Tani was just unable to keep it out. Yellow card shown here as the visitors need to keep cool heads in dealing with the disappointment. That was the challenge that cost the caution from Fujimoto on Kai Kozumi. First of the game. Away by Shoji. They're already missing Kai Shibato through suspension today. Machida Zelvia booked in half of his first 8 games of the season. And now they're under pressure once more as Tokyo try and complete the turnaround. Lively opening quarter of the contest here. Kawara Sumida forcing the corner as it's blocked behind. His 4th straight start in J1. The 19-year-old is risen through the youth ranks. As has Bangne Gamde is going to take the corner. Tokyo born, already in his 5th season with the seniors at the age of 22. Plenty to try and aim for here in the penalty area. Ogashiwa was his target. It's out as far as Kozumi. And all the way back they will go to Hatano. Wasn't dealt with. Still hasn't been dealt with, not decisively anyway, not until now. And the clearance from Gen Shoji. A little bit of hesitation at the back from those in white. Throws by Shirai, will get it back here. They have to try and put the disappointment of that concession behind them pretty swiftly. Machida Zelvia hadn't done too much wrong really up to that point. Probably at that stage looking the likely to score the game's 2nd goal. Hatano comes, turns it with interest. Recently celebrated his wedding, the FC Tokyo goalkeeper. There's Tanai at the other end. Did win a cap for Japan back in 2022, Koso Tani. Highly rated young goalkeeper on loan from Gamba Osaka. Goalkeeper there is beaten though. It's Osi Hun who got on the end of it. Moshizuki did brilliantly to keep the danger alive and find him. And the Machida Zelvia lead is restored. It's the right back on his first start in this division. His first start in league football that takes many of the plaudits here. He just stayed onside, I think, looking at that. Watch the flight of the ball. Did he just reach it in time? It was close, wasn't it? Cut it back for Osi Hun. There is that direct approach again with the long ball forward from Machida Zelvia, which we've seen frequently this season. Mozizuki making something of it. Osi Hun put himself in the right place and did the rest to score his 3rd goal of the season. They are checking whether that ball went out of play. It did look very close, didn't it? Very close. I see a waiter still having a look at the footage. As if the goal will stand. That is how close. The check, though, is complete. And 2 South Koreans on the score sheet for Machida Zelvia. They're back in front, they're back on course to go to the top of the table today. Tokyo on terms for only 5 minutes. Sang-ho wanting to take it quickly, having won the free kick. He was denied the opportunity really to do so. And again, the defensive issues resurfacing for FC Tokyo. That longer ball forward for Motozuki to chase, caught them out. It's a relatively straightforward finish for OC Han in the middle. Takahashi to take the free kick. Set piece is a big part of their plan. They yet make something of this. Motozuki was going up for it. Got partially clear by Endo. Their game plan under Go Kuroda this season, Machida Zelvia, has been fairly apparent, becoming well established. They don't see an awful lot of the ball. To say lower possession average than any other side in this division, but when they do get forward, they do it quickly, they do it directly, and they do it very effectively. Developing along similar lines already this afternoon. Henrik Trivesa with the clearance. Bang Nagande battling for it. Kazumi takes over. FC Tokyo having to do it all over again, having got themselves briefly back on terms from the penalty spot. Ambitious effort, but never troubling the target. Trezovic on the halfway line with a deliberate attempt, I think, having seen the goalkeeper a little off his line. Never got close to extending it. He does have a couple of goals already this season from centre-back Ibrahim Trezovic. Signing from Turkish football for this season. Back trying to do the day job here, and in a little bit of trouble as well. Another appeal for a potential penalty. As Nakagawa played that one in. Not been the most straightforward in this opening half an hour for Shukawa Mata, has it? They are checking this as a possible penalty. Struck Hayashi very high on the arm. Again, he was trying to get it out of the way. Struck at him from relatively close range as well. But if the first one was given, the possibility that that might be as well would be very harsh. And on we go. No penalty this time. Which I think was the correct call. Hunter Doi, Henrik Trevisa, Bangna Gandhi under pressure. Well, they came from 2 behind, FC Tokyo, to get a point in last week's derby. Also against promoted opposition as they renewed that rivalry with Tokyo Verdy. New neighbours today. Previously played in a friendly game about 5 years ago, but their paths crossing in the top flight for the first time. Kozumi. Toara Ratsumida. There's Bangna Gandhi on the move. Toara Ratsumida trying to take the shot on. Breaks back for Bangna Gandhi. And nearly for Toara Ratsumida. Shirai instead. Now goes Endo. Scorer of both of their goals last week off the bench, Keita Endo. 3 goals in 2 games when you factor in his effort in the League Cup on Wednesday as well. Caught there by Hayashi. Endo, who joined at the start of the season on loan from Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. FC Tokyo have now confirmed that that move is becoming a permanent one. Every possibility that Endo could become a key player for them in this campaign. He's won the free kick. Chief Bangna Gandhi waiting to take it. Pocket of players to try and pick out in the penalty area. Clearance didn't quite come back his way in time. Hatano will return it. Sihan was looking for support to arrive. Was dealt with by Ko, couldn't quite pick the pass for Goshiwa. So finely balanced right now. Very different approach from the 2 teams, but each looking a threat, doing what they do. Here goes Kai Kozumi. Ogashiwa. Toara Ratsumida. Mochizuki in trouble for a moment. Now the Brazilian at the back, Henrik Trevisa. Ogashiwa had made the run. Ratsumida. And Endo in the middle. Tally gets there first thing, comes and collects. Well, his team are on a 4-game unbeaten run in all competitions since the defeat at Kawasaki Frontale. Winning 3 of those. Set new records in the recent game against Urawa Reds, the 2-1 win. And they came from behind and they actually covered more ground in that game than any other team in this division this season. A year in which they've also named their youngest ever starting lineup. Most goals from open play going into this weekend of any team in the top flight. An equalizer today coming from the penalty spot, but as it stands, not enough. Here goes Shirai. We're starting to see even more of the ball in the last few minutes. FC Tokyo, they've got the free kick here. Fujimoto is already on a yellow card. He's the only player booked so far, and Tokyo appealing here that he should have seen another. Going to have to watch his steps, certainly from here on in. The coach with a bit to say for himself as well, Go Kuroda. He really has relished this step up to senior football. 28 years in charge of the MEIJI YasudA High School team. New contract for this season after last year's promotion, and he was named the J1 Manager of the Month recently for February and March to their unbeaten start to the season. Free kick here, Bangnagande to take it then. Should be the goalkeeper's ball, and is. Confident take again from Tani. Play from Mochizuki, provider of the second goal for Machida Zelvia today, that has them back in front. It's Takehiro Ko, Henry Trevisan. Nakagawa couldn't quite make it stick though, attempts to win the ball back. The referee feels that he did so fairly. Keita Endo. Endo once more. Bangnagande. Almost came through for Nakagawa down the middle. Keita Endo starting to see a bit more of it as well now, get a bit more involved in the game. Ko trying to pick the pass for Bangnagande. 6th straight start for Takehiro Ko in midfield. Toa Ratsamida did really well. Ogashiwa on the end of it. And then off the post and behind. Plenty in there for FC Tokyo. Deflected onto the frame of the goal. Toa Ratsamida did brilliantly. And he had time to set himself there, Ogashiwa. Just enough back to deal with the danger initially. Corner to come. Heading towards the final 5 of what's been, at times, a pretty frantic first half. Henry Trevisan will be an obvious target up from the back for Bangnagande. Goalkeeper just about got enough on it. He was hurt in the process there as Nakagawa took a little bit of a swing at it. As he had to do, really, in the circumstances. Henry Trevisan, who'd risen well to win it. Nakagawa wasn't quite close enough to getting the contact required. Kosei Tane all smiles at the end of that, but his heart would have been in his mouth for a moment just prior to that. And the manner in which only the corner was conceded, as it turned out, might have been more for FC Tokyo. Ogashiwa again, in the thick of things, winning the free kick. Scorer of their equalising goal, he nearly managed it once more. This is Doi, another of the Tokyo-born players who's risen through the youth ranks with the gas. In his second senior season, the 19-year-old. 4th straight start for him. Nakagawa, the other end of the experience spectrum, really. A title winner with Yokohama F. Marinos back in 2019. Koizumi. and Co combining in midfield, both having celebrated their birthdays earlier in the week. Becoming a familiar pairing, the base of their midfield. Enrique Trevisa. To Samida. He is causing some issues right now. So another strong run, and the finish didn't miss by too much. Watched wide by Tani, in the knowledge from the goalkeeper, I think, that he wasn't going to be required. But a valiant attempt here. Always travelling wide when it left the boot of Kota Samida. The intent acknowledged by his coach. He's the one really taking this to Machida Zelvia just at the moment, as we head towards half-time. Klamoski will be pleased by the response that he's seen in the last few minutes. The Australian coach who stepped in halfway through last season to replace Albert Puig, a long-time assistant of Ange Postecoglou previously. Worked with him for 15 years, including with Australia and with Yokohama F. Marinos. It's his third different manager's role in his own right in Japan for Klamoski. His team trail heading towards half-time. Hayashi for Zelvia. Fujimoto taken off him by Endo, back doing his defensive duties. Nakagawa under pressure though. Free kick is Tokyo's this time. Last couple of minutes of the half. The strike that currently separates them, made by Henry Hiroki Mochizuki and scored by O.C. Hun. Came just 4 minutes after Tokyo had got themselves back on terms from Ogashiwa's penalty. Sang-ho having started the scoring against his former club. You do get the feeling, though, there's a few more twists and turns in this to come yet, in the second half, if not before. Tokyo not given up the hope of restoring parity before the break. That will carry for the corner. Counter-Doi from centre-back, who struck it. Looking for his first senior goal. Another corner to come then in the last minute of the half here. Gande to take it. Henry Trevisa rising to meet it, but not troubling the target with what followed. He is capable in these sort of positions. See that by the height that he got on the leap to reach it first. Scored just the one league goal last season in the draw here with Shonan Bellmare almost a year ago. Remains his last career goal, that one. It's his third season now since signing from Estoril in Portugal. 3 added minutes at the end of the first 45. Gande. Takahiro Ko, who had gone down and has actually stayed down, only now is he getting back to his feet again. Fujimoto in a little bit of space for Machida Zelvia. Hayashi. Sento. And back again. This is Na Sang-ho. Sento. Shizuki was the target. Gande able to pick up the pieces. It's been impressive in those sort of situations from Machida Zelvia. Missing one of their key performers so far this season in Yu Hirakawa. He's also at the Under-23 Asian Cup. He's just been named the Player of the Month for February and March at the start of the J1 season. Missing a second straight game whilst away on international duty. Scorer of 6 goals for them in winning promotion last season. Certainly one of those that had taken the step up in his stride. His absence really one of the reasons why Takahashi has stepped in for the first time this season in J1. Did start the midweek cup game as well. A boost for them to have Zento Uno fit again after a hamstring injury. Missed a big chunk of last season as well with a metatarsal problem. Hoping now to get a run of games in the team. Hayashi assessing his options. We've seen already the sort of distance that he can get on these. And it goes from him threateningly. Gathered up by the goalkeeper. Whistle had gone. There is the half-time whistle. Machida Zelvia on course for what would be an important, impressive and famous victory. Leading for the second time in the game. Na Sang-ho had put them in front. His fellow South Korean Oh Si-hun restoring the lead after Ogashiwa's penalty briefly had FC Tokyo on terms. Some response though from their visitors. Na, who'd scored that wonderful opening goal on his return to his former club. And Oh Si-hun's effort made by Mochizuki, restoring that advantage in short order. The penalty having been given for handball. Plenty still to come in this story though. Half-time at the Ajinomoto Stadium. It's FC Tokyo 1, Machida Zelvia 2.
NHK テレビアニメ忍たま乱太郎から乱太郎、きみまる、しんべヱ、土井半助、ヘンヘンが遊びに来てくれました。これから場内を東京ドローンマと一緒に一周します。ここで三菱商事プレゼンツ前半戦ハイライトをご覧ください。
Now let's watch the first half highlights.
ただいま FC 東京スポーツボランティアの皆さんがスタジアム利用のため横断幕を持って場内を周回中です。どうぞゴミ分別並びにハーフタイム中のゴミ回収にご協力ください。世界一美しいスタジアムへ皆様のご協力よろしくお願いいたします。 FC 東京スポーツボランティアでは共に活動する仲間を募集中です。本日のキッズドリームツアーにアジサをご紹介します。本日のパートナーは品川宿青物横丁商店街、そして今回の参加チームは品川区立会フットボールクラブ、ダイワコスモス、以上の皆さんです。皆様のダゾーンへの加入と FC 東京の試合視聴時間の長さで J リーグからクラブへの分配金が大きく変わります。スタジアムにご来場の皆様もスタジアム観戦だけで満足せず、本日の試合をぜひダゾーンにてご視聴お願いします。
2024シーズン J リーグタイトルパートナーは明治安田。オフィシャルブロードキャスティングパートナーはダゾーン。
Almost set then for the start of the second half at the Ajinomoto Stadium, where Machida Zelvia lead FC Tokyo by 2-1. On course as it stands to maintain their 100% winning record away from home. Since their promotion to J1, they are the only team so far in this division yet to drop a point on their travels. Big part of the reason why they are contesting to return to the top of the table today. But a big second half in store for Go Kuroda's team. They've twice got themselves in front this afternoon. 2 South Koreans on the score sheet in Na Sang-ho and Oh Si-han. Latter's goal remaining currently the difference after the penalty in between from Ogashiwa. There has been a change made by Kuroda at half-time. Takahashi has been withdrawn. And the Chilean Byron Vazquez is introduced into the action. Former Tokyo Verdy player steps into this particular derby. He was a goal scorer for them in midweek in the League Cup. He's on to the second half. We're off and underway for this second period. FC Tokyo getting the game restarted. The onus is on the home side in this second half as they try and come back from behind for a second time. Did create chances in that first period. Aside from the penalty, they had a second shout that was looked at by VAR. There was a close call as well at the other end during the Machida Zelvia second goal as to whether the ball had gone out of play or not in the build-up before Michizuki cut it back for Oh Si-han to score. Certainly the sense there's a lot more still to come in this particular story. Set up very nicely for the neutral in the second half. What Vazquez can do. He started 4 times this season. It's his first appearance off the bench. Joined halfway through their promotion-winning campaign last year. He's into the thick of the action here. Already helping it on for Na Sang-ho to deliver the cross. Oh Si-han rising. The South Koreans try and combine. Touch for Hayashi. Clearance was a decisive one from Kawara Sumida. He looked really as likely as anyone for FC Tokyo to make something happen in that first period. Their chief creative threat. Shizuki with the throw. Hasn't looked out of place at all on his first start in league football. A steep learning curve for Machida Zelvia, not that you would necessarily know it given the way that they've stepped up to the top flight this term. All those fans have been embracing occasions like this. It's what they were striving for last year when they went on to take the J2 title for the first time in their history. She throw into an awkward area again. Everybody back for Tokyo. It is a derby game, although Machida located in the very western portion of the Tokyo prefecture. Administratively, they do belong to the Tokyo metropolis, but often regarded really as having more connection to Kanagawa. Borders to the west, the south and the east. They've come to the capital today, to Chofu, and they've really taken this game to FC Tokyo. They've taken their chances more pertinently. Didn't create too many of them of note in that first half, but they put themselves in an excellent position. That might change here though. The goalkeeper quickly off his line to just get there first. Takes the acclaim of his defensive colleagues because there was very little margin for error for Kosei Tani here. Ball slipped through for Nakagawa, who was in full flight, stretching to try and reach it. Although he did get something on it first. Equally importantly, Goalkeeper then got a touch as well and didn't make contact with Nakagawa, which would have been easy to do in the circumstances. All happened at speed. There's an element of fortune maybe that the collision was avoided, but decisiveness from Tani was ultimately rewarded. He's been kept busy enough so far, the Gamba Osaka loanee, and the Zelvia goal. Gande to Henrik Trevisan. Bit of time on the ball for the centre-back. Hatano. Mentioned he's begun the season as the first choice. He was out on loan last year in J2. Reclaiming his starting spot for this season. Already 14 goals conceded now across Tokyo's first 8 and a bit matches of the season. Still just the one clean sheet all season for them. Only 3 actually in the last 13 league games going back to last year. Those are issues that Peter Klimowski has not yet been able to resolve, although his side have been free scoring at the other end, which offers them hope of a route back here. Ogashiwa. Shirai. Endo was calling for it and gets it now. Keita Endo hasn't quite had the sort of influence yet that he would have been hoping for on his return to the J1 starting lineup. Undoubted ability. 4 years in Germany, coupled with Eintracht Braunschweig, more latterly on loan from Union Berlin. That's where Peter Klimowski and his team have brought him in from now on a permanent basis. Initially on loan for this season. Win a couple of caps for Japan at the end of 2019. He was most recently called up in May of 2021. All goes well for him this season. A potential return to the national picture might not be out of the equation. It's certainly been important in the amount of possession that his team have had right from the restart. Over 3/4 of the ball in this second half so far for FC Tokyo. No surprise really in that statistic. Here's Bang Nagande. He was able to squeeze it in towards Ogashiwa. His shot blocked away. Machida Zelvia are comfortable without the ball in soaking up pressure, in trying to hit on the counter and play those long balls out from the back, which have caused issues already today, as they have for so many sides in the early weeks of the season. Distinct style of play that opponents have yet to really get to grips with. Just signs in the last few weeks maybe that could be changing. Losing 2 of the last 3, the home defeats to Sanfrecce Hiroshima and Vissel Kobe. Away from home, they've been perfect thus far. Suzuki had continued his run, didn't quite come back his way, so Uno got a foot in. This is Hayashi. Last year, and that relegation that he suffered with Yokohama was his first in senior football out of university, the left back. Nakagawa. To Samida. Does have support from Takehiro Ko. And we'll get the corner off Sento. Kashiwa Racehall player. He's actually now operating at his 6th different club in the last 5 years. Here's Kaya Sento. Corner kick number 4 for FC Tokyo. And Nagande on duty for all of them. He's got a little weight here. He spotted something he's not happy with, wants a word with Zenta Undo. Appeared amicable enough, that particular exchange. And now Kashif Bangnagande can take the corner kick. A deeper one. Trevisan rising to meet it. Cleared out only as far as Shirai. Bangnagande. Ogashiwa. Ajinomoto under pressure. Someone that has to be careful after that first half yellow card. There were appeals from the home team that maybe merited another one with a challenge that followed shortly afterwards. Remains actually the only caution of the contest so far. Shizuki's throw. Vasquez was trying to get on the end of that. He's remained on the fringes really so far since his half-time introduction. One back by Nakagawa here. Bangnagande under pressure from Vasquez. Requires Hatano's clearance to halfway. On the home side in the second period. Just coming into today, still in the top half of the table. FC Tokyo in 10th position. Certainly have the ambitions of going much higher. Having finished last season in 11th place. Options for them here, it needed to be a little bit better, the ball in, but it certainly still had to be dealt with by Mochizuki. Couldn't take any chances with that, really. So 5th corner of the game for FC Tokyo. Bangnagande was a goal scorer earlier this season himself against Avispa Fukuoka. Trying to turn provider, that's his chief role really, forward from full-back. Take this one short. Now when it goes towards Henry Trevisan, just cleared before it could reach him. Ogashiwa. Round the corner by Counter Doi. Sustained pressure here beginning to build. Not yet the end product from the home side. Bangnagande's throw. Who's going to be afforded this type of possession, really, but finding a way through with it is a different matter entirely. Machida Zelvia really well organised back behind the ball. They've given themselves something to hold on to, something to defend in this second period, and they appear intent on doing so. Bangnagande forward. Nakagawa. Tawara Ratsumida. Will clip in the cross, but it will come pretty comfortably in the end for Kosei Tani. a little stretched here. Zelvia with Ogashiwa. Time to get players back in position again. Endo. Kozumi joining in as well. That's neatly done. Shot when it comes straight at the goalkeeper from Kazuki Shirai. Not necessarily the player that they would have wanted on the end of the opportunity, the right back. Didn't really catch it with conviction. He's yet to score for the club. July of 2019, his last goal for Consadole Sapporo in J1. He signed halfway through last season from Kyoto Sanga. Now we're going to see a change. Sang-ho, who started the scoring in impressive fashion, hasn't had a huge influence on the game since then, but that's a memorable moment for him, certainly. Back in his former club. His part now is played as we head for the hour mark. Shota Araki, his replacement, 5th appearance off the bench this season for the player who was on loan last year from Sagan Tosu, made that permanent after promotion. He's yet to start for the club in J1, but he's been a regular in situations like this off the subs bench. Tawara Ratsumida allowed to cover good ground, but Shizuki got the block in. Bangnagande will take the throw. Koizumi, Bangnagande. Nakagawa to Koizumi. Patience required here for those in red and blue. They were 2 down with 10 at this stage of the game at Tokyo Verdy last weekend and rescued a point. Equalizer from Endo came 4 minutes into stoppage time. Kai Kozumi. Ratsumida, and then turned onto the bar by Endo, who reacted quickly and is unfortunate not to reap the rewards from that. So close to 2-2. Again, Tawara Ratsumida is the player causing most of the issues, really, for Machida Zelvia, who, having had the fragility of their lead underlined, set about a relatively rare foray forward in pursuit of extending it. Still breathing a big collective sigh of relief at the other end. This was excellent from Tawara Ratsumida. Endo clearly onside, flinging out the foot. And he's really unlucky not to score. Having put himself in that position, he would have backed himself to do so, I'm sure. 3 goals in his last 2 games in League and Cup. And very nearly another one. How costly it could be, though, that didn't go in. Just a little opportunity for players on both sides to get a bit of a breather in, heading into this last half an hour. Ogashiwa, the player down, scorer of the Tokyo goal today from the penalty spot. All 3 goals that we've seen came in a fairly frantic spell of just over 10 minutes in the first half. And it does look like a change is going to happen here. Jaja Silva has come off the bench in every game for FC Tokyo in J1 so far this season. His only start was on Wednesday night in the League Cup, and he marked it with a goal in stoppage time. For Klimowski's team, looks like he may well be called for again here. Been an eventful afternoon for Tsuyoshi Ogashiwa, but it doesn't look particularly good for him right now. There is J.LEAGUE Silva, signed last summer after a stint playing in the United Arab Emirates on an 18-month contract. That was Ogashiwa's most notable contribution from the penalty spot that made it 1-1. But on only his second league start of the season, he is leaving the action on the stretcher, and J.LEAGUE Silva comes on. As you would have expected him to do fairly shortly anyway, but the frustration for Klimowski is that it's been enforced really in these circumstances. Sees his goal scorer stretch it away. Came very close to another, Ogashiwa. J.LEAGUE Silva was giving chase. And does reach it here. And tries to bend one in. Talo having none of it. Safe and secure handling from the goalkeeper. It was a little too close to him. His goal right at the end on Wednesday was his first for the club in any competition. First since May of last year. He was playing for Dibba El Fourai in the United Arab Emirates. He did go the distance and play the entirety of the game in the League Cup. It's been a different story in J1 so far. That was the case last year as well. Here he is once more. He's never actually started a game in the league for the club. Signs in recent weeks that his influence is beginning to grow. Sumida just running out of room. More changes being plotted, this time by Go Kuroda. We're going to see the Australian international strikers shortly by the looks of things. Mitchell Duke was one of those receiving his instructions. That just runs away from Byron Vasquez. He's a player born in Chile, but has spent the vast majority of his life in Japan. Moved here as a young kid. Good run again from Tawarat Sumida, playing it in awkwardly towards the run of Keita Endo. Referee again is content to let it continue. Tokyo pushing players forward now with real intensity. And it's a fine line that they're treading. Byron Vasquez. Moshizuki. There is Drezovic. The last of his 25 caps for Kosovo coming last September. Ibrahim Drezovic. Started every game at centre-back since his signing for this season. One of the new arrivals to the promotion-winning team. Those that helped them get here have, for the most part, been permitted the chance to prove they can take the step up with them, and how they've done that so seamlessly so far. J.LEAGUE Silva losing out. It's Fujimoto that got a foot in. Now it's with Araki. It's prolonged a period of possession as Machida have had for quite some time. We'll see Hunt, the only one of the game's 3 goal scorers still on the field right now. On loan from Shimizu Espals. former under-23 international with South Korea. He was part of the under-20 team that runners up at the World Cup. Useful balling, well dealt with really by Hatano in the circumstances. It wasn't easy for the goalkeeper, that one. Decisive punch clear of trouble. And now we're going to get this double change by the looks of things. Just waiting, I think, to see if a rethink might be required. But the first change will happen here. Kaya Sento is coming off, and that is MEIJI YasudA on for the fourth time this season off the bench. A scorer as a substitute actually in the League Cup. He got the winner at Girivants in the second round on Wednesday. Well, this probably would have been the change anyway, but it's just been confirmed in the manner in which O.C. Hunt is leaving the field. That means that all three of the goal scorers now will play no further part. His goal's still the difference as it stands. Replaced by Mitchell Duke in this double change. Experienced Australian centre-forward is yet to start this season, but it's the seventh time that we've seen him off the subs bench in J1. Player capped 39 times by Australia, including most recently just last month. Hayashi's throw here, aimed in towards Duke, gathered up by Hatano. Scored 10 times, did Duke, in helping them win promotion last season. His last goal actually was for Australia in January in a friendly with Bahrain. Moshizuki, there's that longer ball forward again. Peter Klomoski's responding in kind with a couple of substitutes of his own waiting to come on. Enrique Trevisan won it well. Well, J.LEAGUE Silva. This spells danger for Machida. Shiro joining in with the attack as well, combining with J.LEAGUE Silva. It was aimed awkwardly in towards Taro Samida. Had to be dealt with and was by those in white. And now this latest change, or changes. Sato's going to come on for his first appearance of the league season. And Harakawa as well. Taro Samida and Co, the two making way. The former might count himself a little bit unfortunate. Big moment for the 17-year-old Ryunsuke Sako. Big chance for him. He signed a 4-year professional contract in February, the Japanese under-18 international. Sato into the action. Corner to come for his side. Swinging towards Enrique Trevisan. Nothing doing for Tokyo on that occasion. There is Harakawa. Sato. Born in Tokyo. He'd never been in a J1 squad until today. Now he's into the action already. Did make his professional debut in the League Cup last season, over a year ago. As a 16-year-old at the time. He also came off the bench in this year's League Cup on Wednesday in the second round. Went to the Under-17 World Cup in Indonesia last year. Big opportunity for him in the circumstances, given the situation that he stepped into with his team in real need going forward, as they are here with Bangnagande, but in steps Mochizuki. Tani finds touch with the clearance. J.LEAGUE Silva seems to have been sent on with the instruction to get hold of the ball and run at the opposing defence, regardless of where he does so on the pitch. Popped up in a number of different positions already to try and do so, and he's got the free kick here. Heading into this closing quarter of an hour of the 90 now. It's a useful position, this, for FC Tokyo. Favourable angle for Bangnagande, but he doesn't make the most of it, really. Comfortably clutched by the keeper. Just about gets away with that. Grateful to have the ball back in hand. And again, it could come straight back towards him. Endo coming back from the offside position, made no attempt to get involved. As soon as he does, up goes the flag. Holds his hand up, Kosei Tani here. Clearance hit his own player, actually. He could have gone anywhere, really. First to acknowledge. Thumps it forward. He was grateful that it did come back in his direction. A bit more of the ball, Machida Zelvia of late. As they try and close it out, deciding whether to stick or twist in search of a third goal. But still more than content to afford Tokyo possession in the most part, certainly in this part of the pitch. Bangnagande's ball forward. They will continue to come forward, the home team. 2 wins in the last 3 unbeaten league games. They'd only won 2 of the previous 10 going back to last year. There's something of an underwhelming campaign again in 2023. They're never in trouble at the bottom of the table, but never really challenged those higher up. J.LEAGUE Silva. Might come through for Endo, just crowded out of it. Then Harakawa's effort, and they can't quite get the touch to it. Shiro may be the closest to doing so. He's now left a little out of position as a result of that. Chida's attempts to take advantage are effectively halted, but they still have possession. Yasui will get it back here. And again, maybe that's the intention. And we'll probably settle for that in the circumstances. Trying to take a little bit of the sting out of the situation after the scare at the other end. This team getting closer to extending this impressive away record. If they do hang on here, it will be 4 successive victories on their travels in their opening 4 away games of the season. No other side in this division can say that. And it goes again. And it's punched clear by Hatano. It's only the 3rd time this season, actually, that they've scored more than 1 goal in a game. 1 was often enough for them earlier on in the season. But They've won 3 times by a solitary goal to nil already this season. When the early lead this time was lost, it was swiftly restored. On by Mochizuki, hasn't been dealt with yet. Vasquez in there, didn't quite fall for him to get his shot away, but he has won the ball back. Byron Vasquez. Mochizuki's effort cannons away for the corner as he tried to provide the cross. He's never been far from the action today. Certainly grasping his chance. Right back role that he's taken over this afternoon from Junya Suzuki. It's been the regular starter. Another former FC Tokyo player denied the chance to face his former club by coach Kuroda's selection. Corner to come. Yasui to take it. Out by Henry Trevisan. J.LEAGUE Silva just beaten in the air. That's Hayashi to return it. They would be level on points with the leaders if it stays like this, both here and in the game at Nagoya Grampus, which is 1-1 between Cerezo Osaka. Leaders going into match day 9. Off at the same time as we did. J.LEAGUE Silva taking a tumble, no way through as he tried to engineer the opening. Only be goal difference as it stands, keeping them off the top of the table. And Feian Cerezo Osaka would have 19 points should it stay this way from their opening 9 games of the season. Having scored, as it stands, 13 goals this season. That's one behind, actually, FC Tokyo. Nobody's scored more than them, residing in mid-table, but they need another to Klimowski's team today. Might open up potentially for them here. Shirai, infield to Sato. Henrik Trevisan. Now with J.LEAGUE Silva. Bang the Gande, good ball. Was in first time for Harakawa, but he couldn't quite make the most of it, having taken up a really good position. He's now a permanent member of this side, Riki Harakawa, having joined on loan last season from Cerezo. Araki. Tokyo just beginning to run out of time. As mentioned, they left it very late last week. Henrik Trevisan has to be careful here, but the whistle has gone. Incredible job that Go Kuroda has done with Machida Zelvia. And at the moment, continues to get the better of Peter Klimowski in that tactical tussle on the touchline, but there's not been a lot in it. Twice the J2 Manager of the Month last season in taking the title was Kuroda. He too, with his team, has stepped up at the higher level, further enhanced his rapidly rising reputation. First moved into coaching back in the early 1990s. This is Harakawa. Just to settle for the throw. Harakawa has it again. Now with Cantadoi. Just the one change made from last week's derby by Peter Klimowski today, but he has insisted he's got full faith in the squad that he has at his disposal and intends to rotate as the campaign goes on. There'll be plenty of opportunities, he says, for the vast majority of his squad to stake their claim, to play their part. In action on Saturday at Albirex Niigata. And a couple of games in quick succession for everyone in J1 at the start of next month. An expanded 20-team top flight this year, of course, meaning a couple of extra additions to the fixture list. Harakawa came clear with it, finds J.LEAGUE Silva. Forward first time. And there is a flag now up against Sato. And for all the promising positions that they've been taking up at times, Tokyo still have nothing to show for it. He needs something, and soon. Games at the helm for Klimowski before today, a dozen victories during that time. This would be his 12th defeat if it stays this way. Another move to try and change the narrative, maybe. Looks like Nagatomo's going to come on. Very familiar figure is introduced at left back in place of Bagnagande. Now at the age of 37, second most capped player in Japan's history, with 142 appearances for his country to his name. He's in his fourth season back at FC Tokyo. In his second spell with them, he's on for the conclusion here. Incredible experience to be able to call upon in a situation like this. But time not on their side. J.LEAGUE Silva. So many back in white in the way. That's been the story really in this second half. Machida close to seeing the job through now. Professional display to get to this point, to keep Tokyo really at arm's length. As it stands, they are heading for the top now, because Cerezo Osaka have conceded. Nagoya Grampus in trail by 2-1 late in that game. be a point clear at the summit. They've still got to see this one through yet. Nagatomo for Tokyo, just behind Jaja Silva. As these substitutes attempted to combine, ultimately unsuccessfully. Suzuki's throw, big part that he's played in getting his team to this point. It's the assistant referee who's flagging. But all the while the clock is ticking down. We will find out very shortly how much additional time there will be at the end of the 90. Because that is all that is now separating Machida Zelvia from extending this winning start away from home. From returning to winning ways. They did score themselves in stoppage time last week at the National Stadium, but they were already 2 down against the champions Vissel Kobe at the time. Very different circumstances 8 days on. 5 more minutes for them to negotiate into the first of those 5 additional minutes. Chase on for Mitchell Duke, who will reach it and return it. The shot was struck with menace. Vasquez will reach it. The earlier chance was for Araki. That would have wrapped it up, surely. Space now, though, for the counter-attack for FC Tokyo, taking their turn to advance. Doing so in great numbers. Gone out of play. Valiant attempt from Shirai, has not stopped running all afternoon really down that right hand side. But had just run that one out of play. Zelvia won't be in a great hurry. Further FC Tokyo frustration. They need a repeat of last week. And it was Keita Endo that got the equalising goal, his second goal of the game, 4 minutes into additional time. He scored in stoppage time in the previous game as well. Harakawa doubled the lead against Kashima Antlers in that 2-0 victory. Has been their type of territory this season. But it's a big ask for FC Tokyo to do it again, given how well Machida Zelvia have held on to what they have had. To the lead that they assembled in the first half and have defended with such diligence in the second period. Halfway through the added period. Araki helping it on. Free kick goes the way of the home side against Byron Vasquez. Everybody forward for Hatano to aim at here. He does hang it into dangerous territory, but it was well defended once more. It's been a familiar theme. Nagatomo with the throw. Koizumi. Shirai. And it goes again. Enrique Trevisan had stayed forward, pretty much everyone up involved in the attack for Tokyo, but the free kick goes in favour of Dresovic there. That's another important moment that they've dealt with. Another chance just to collectively clear their heads brace themselves for maybe only one more minute. This team almost out of time. His side continue to set the standards, and this would be such an important victory in the context of losing 2 of the last 3 after the remarkable winning run that they went on to first go to the top of the table. They're heading back there as it stands. This would be a 6th victory in the first 9 games of the season. No other side could say that. Not quite done yet though. Here's Endo for Tokyo. Keita Endo still has it, looking for some support. Koizumi taking over and providing that assistance. Need to get it forward though. Referee getting ready very shortly to blow the full-time whistle. Is there time for one more attack, one more chance for Tokyo? For all this pressure, all this possession, they haven't created too much in this second half, and they have fallen short. It's Machida Zelvia on their first visit here, who continue to reach new heights in J1, heading as it stands back top of the table today after further extending their winning start away from home. 4 trips so far this season for Kuroda's team and 4 victories. This one hard-earned, a lead twice established in the first half with goals from their South Korean forwards, Na Sang-ho against his former club, and then Oh Si-hun with what proved to be the winner. Ogashiwa had got Tokyo very briefly back on terms from the penalty spot in the first half, but Klimowski's team were not able to battle back from behind for a second time, despite their best attacking intentions in the second half. It's ended at the Ajinomoto Stadium. FC Tokyo 1, Machida Zelvia 2. Another excellent display from Kuroda's team, who were clinical in the first half in taking their chances and then defended with such discipline in the second period to keep Tokyo at bay. 1 or 2 scares in there, but maybe not as many as might have been expected given the pressure applied and the possession that the home side enjoyed. Always part of the game plan, really. Machida Zelvia knew that they wouldn't have a lot of the ball, but they stuck to that game plan so impressively. And after 9 rounds of the season, they do top the table, because Cerezo Osaka have been beaten. The whistle's gone in the game at Nagoya Grampus, who've beaten them by 2-1. So Machida Zelvia top of the table. Cerezo lose for the first time this season. And this short trip has been a rewarding one for those from Machida, embracing life in the top tier. Respectful of reputations, but scared of no one, it would appear, given the way that they've started this season, the way they've maintained their momentum from that promotion-winning historic campaign in J2 last term. All with the intention of being able to savour scenes like these on the big stage. A new derby game in J1, and the first chapter written by Machida Zelvia. Further evidence of their approach this season, of the confidence and conviction that they have in their own abilities. The style that they have developed under Go Kuroda over the last year or so, that they are continuing to hone in the top flight. But the rest of J1 seemingly really is yet to get to grips with. Tokyo are showing signs of finding their form after a slow start to the season. This a significant setback for them in that context, but further proof of progress from Machida Zelvia. So often developing young talent to go on and have careers elsewhere, but now reaping the rewards of that work and enjoying themselves in the top flight. Heady days indeed for this football club. Let's get some reaction for you.
今季初ゴール、そして J リーグ復帰後の初ゴール、これがチームの勝利を導きました。今どんなお気持ちですか？
일단은 첫 골을 넣어서 기분이 되게 좋고 또 원정 경기인데도 불구하고 서포터즈 팬분들이 또 2,000명이라는 숫자 많은 분들이 와주셔서 축하해 주실 수 있어서 너무 기쁘고 또 그걸 또 승리로 같이 함께할 수 있어서 너무 기쁜 것 같습니다.
まずは初ゴールを